Shush for a second, I'm talking.
I want to be
down.
with
I don't want to be
Let him
last.
talk.
You're talking. First thing first, sign of obedience. Put your guns on your back, everybody.
How'd you do that?
Push the zero button.
Zero.
Oh, I see.
Advanced stuff.
Alright,
have it
see
bounced.
us later, gun on the back.
Shut up.
I started to jack
Yeah,
the
but
keys.
don't-
I don't
back.
have it bounced.
See you
so I
later, put your
can't
gun on your
do
back.
it, so do this.
That's
Okay,
your
there.
guns up.
So we're preparing our school equipment,
Nice.
right?
Put your gun on your back, dude.
Alright,
Yeah,
now
got our
listen.
guns.
Put your gun on
Second
your
thing.
back, see
Put
yes.
your gun on your pack.
What I'm going to do is I'm
Hear
going
that.
to
My-
divide you guys
speak
into
went off.
5 teams. Each team will have at least 4 people maximum, and they will be selected at random. I'm going to pick people by one component.
But there's
okay?
18 of us.
So, the reason why I'm doing this is because you can't ensure that there will be the same NCO and officer component present in every single mission. Because of this, you guys will have randomly assigned teams. The first one, Leak, Elix,
This ain't random.
Gordon, Herondas.
No.
You guys,
Ura.
give me a team name. Herondas, give me.
Bang it.
The castrated balls.
Alright, castrated balls, your table's over there.
Balls, like in bovine.
We are okay. No, we're CBT, castrated ball team.
Yeah, CBT team.
CBT.
No, not CBT team. T stands for team,
Yeah.
not torture.
CB.
Team CBT. That's just
second
entertaining,
Story
this
is
game.
named great.
Alright, next up.
This is boys' locker room.
Coda,
Yes, sir.
pilot guy,
This is like when picking
Destroyox,
teams in PE.
and Pip.
Am I the best
Oh my god.
name maker?
You guys,
Yeah.
team,
No.
Coda, give me a team name.
Pee pee poo poo.
We are.
PP hard.
Pee pee poo poo.
We are the PP team.
Alright,
Pee
team
pee
name.
pee.
You
Yes.
guys have this
I
table.
normally
PP
record
team.
information,
PP
but
Fuck,
Next
why am I
up,
PP
next
hard here?
up.
I'm not gonna record the
Script,
it's not a
fix,
mission.
I'm on
Oh,
PP
fuck
hard.
yeah.
God damn
Silence,
it.
and Hunter.
I'm
Hunter,
simultaneously
give me a
happy
team.
and sad.
I'm
Gamers.
rolling. I'm pretty sure you're not
Gamers,
supposed to
you
be
have
here.
this
I
table.
don't know
Let's
if
go
that's
to
it.
Curse.
Perfect.
Let's go, gamers.
And
Yeah,
finally,
I miss
Garrus,
recording
We're still
CS
team
Leader,
bandits.
Walrus,
I don't want
Red
to.
Coat.
Because together,
Disc space.
And that's
because
four
it's
of you, right?
destroy
At
us
some point where you
plus
have 3.5
4.
terabytes,
Red
you
Coat.
don't care about the space
Yes.
anymore.
Give me a team name.
Hey,
This
I
is like
actually
shit.
have half a
Alright, Phil. let's,
Alright, you
let's-
have
let's-
this
let's-
table
let's-
over there.
let's- let's- let's-
Earl Grey?
Earl Grey.
Got a
Earl Grey
Phil
tea.
and,
Earl Grey.
Can't believe this shit.
Oh no,
Fucking-
it really is.
Put two people down. Rolling, careful.
Yo,
You guys
Yeah,
have
let's
your
do
own
it.
team.
Let's have the
Give,
gamers
Roland,
play.
give me a team name.
give me a what?
Team name.
Okay, nice.
Beep,
Now my
beep,
echo's working.
Alright, pee pee poo poo.
Was who ever?
Roland, you have.
Okay,
you
wait,
have
where we
it
going?
over there.
We're going there. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, so
white
what the
PP's
fuck?
Pretty gay.
Did y'all notice we?
Alright, now the next thing you're gonna do. The next thing you're gonna do, everybody. Open up your maps and add a single. The first team. That's the table where Lee, Gordon, and you guys are. You guys, Team CBT. You guys will be black zone. Mark your name down in the black zone
Black CBT.
because you are. Alright, pilot guy and your boys, your team. You will be in the red zone. Mark your team name in the red zone. Alright, great.
How do we mark our
Red coat and why are there 5 of you guys over here? Radio, join the roll again.
Ah, sorry.
Listen, Red Coat, Walrus, and Garrus, you guys are in the yellow zone. Put your name down there.
Alright, boys.
Alright, Script, Ceramis, Fixture, Hunter, you guys are in the orange. Great.
Oh, Earl Grey.
Rolling.
That's what it is.
You don't have orange, we'll just put it in black.
Yeah, orange.
Rolling. You are
Games
so
are orange
poo-poo.
teams, so what
So,
about-
gamer.
Papa.
I'm a gamer.
Papa. P4.
Gamers with it.
Yeah, we're green.
Son of.
Alright, great. If I'm not mistaken, that everybody accounted for, right?
A black guy.
Yeah, that's Nivako. Alright. Now, welcome to the NCO Training. The first chapter that we're going to be handling in this training section will be the most basic. It'll be the concept of team leading. Now, Parandas, what's a team leader? Rolling. What's a team leader?
The guy
I
who
was
goes
asking
ahead
for a
and
second,
keeps
what's
track
going on?
of the other team.
Good.
Poor guy's teacher.
Script Kitty, what's a team leader?
Team leader is the second in command in the squad. They take over for the squad leader and help them manage it if need be.
You have been given 3 different answers to the question what a team leader is. All of these answers are correct. However, within the picture, team leader lies a much deeper concept. A team leader is not just a subordinate of the squad leader. He's an extension of the squad leader's group and has the ability to fully control his own section of people within the squad. This is an extremely important section of the team leader's abilities, and I want to know why. Coda, why is that?
Because sometimes you divide your squad and that.
Hunter, why is that?
Divide your squad in half. Care of the other half.
Redcoat, why is that? Your answers would also be correct, but you're missing a key component.
Delegation.
A big, exactly, big component, team leading, the ability to delegate authority within the squad. Team leaders within squads exist for a very clear-cut reason. You absolutely need to utilize them as people of authority, delegating much small tasks that the squad is embellished in as a way of handling problems.
Getting rid of extra micromanaging for the squad leader.
Exactly, Script Kitty. A big issue within every squad is micromanaging. A squad leader in the worst possible scenario can manage as much as 10 or 12 people individually. That is a pain in the fucking ass. I want to know, do you guys agree? Give me a big fucking yes.
I've never.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah, brother.
Exactly. Now listen, boys. So when we have a team leader within a squad, he delegates, takes authority. What he needs to do is he needs to keep a track on the tactical situation. He needs to keep a track on the general perspective of things without relying on one key factor, and that's participating in the chain of command network through the UHF network. That is a big downside and big benefit, because what happens, the team leader does not have to have obligations of communicating with the platoon network. He does not need to communicate with the other squad. The only people he communicates with is his own squaddies, riflemen, and the squad leader, as well as other team leaders the roster. What we can do as a team leader in that case is extremely important to us, because the team leader have the best eyes in the field when utilized correctly. What we're going to start this training session out with right now is we're going to learn how to utilize these skills to their fullest extent. Now, within each one of your squad, within each one of your teams, you're going to pick out a single squad leader and 3 team leaders. I want you to pick a leader figure that's going to do this, and then everyone else is going to act out the duty of team leaders.
Crow guy.
Fixture.
Alright,
You want to be
so...
the captain now? Fix
we
channel.
all
Yeah,
two
Coda,
people.
be my leading dad.
Yeah, about that.
Right, go.
About-
Alright,
Oh,
If y'all want me to squad lead, I
I'll
would.
Be my
but
squad dad.
That's
I
fine.
will
I
as
will
well.
be. It's fine.
The
I'm
fixture
just gonna
doesn't work, so
lower
he
the
has
volume
to.
on my TV.
I'll go with anyone.
Wow,
Yeah, I
watching
can
TV
skill.
during class? That's
I can be the
illegal.
skill and you'll be
Hmm.
mentals.
Let's see what Kirk I think.
Sure. Jarvis is
Just
lead.
start with.
There we go.
Okay, so
You say right, Code?
Kirk guy.
Yes.
So
you're
me
very
and Hunter
quiet.
are both willing to squad
Yeah.
lead for our team, but Fixture doesn't. But we're thinking that maybe because he doesn't, we should make him squad lead.
Yeah, it's a little better.
That's a little torturous and I kind of
It's
like it.
Garrus's squad lead.
Fixture. Fixture, you're gonna do it this time. It's gonna be very simple, okay? It's gonna be easy. Like it's not that difficult.
It's
of a
training. That's the point of
Yeah.
it.
Oh, if you hold it,
Oh,
you
boy.
keep doing it over and over.
So it's you, right, Code, or?
I did not need it.
All right, so Ceramus, me, you, and Hunter are teammates.
Yeah,
It's
do
just
this.
looking up at the clouds, man. Oh, there is no clouds.
I was synchronized.
Alright, Garrus.
why are you running away from me?
Hey.
Another tails. Tables. This is hunt.
So you see that grenade
Okay, I'm
launcher
done.
shell on your
This is
backpack
gonna get
that says
annoying very
Hunter?
quickly.
So, who are the
That was blue.
When you load that into your
All of the
into
three
your
of you
rifle's
are
grenade
team
launcher
leaders.
and you fire it, it deploys a parachute after a certain amount of time in the air, and it turns into a floating visual light and night vision camera that has gimbal.
Alright, have you
So you
picked
can use
out
it
your
to
squad
to monitor
leaders?
the look at stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Squad leaders, step up to the table.
What's a micro dagger?
Step up to the
Okay.
table. Picture. Your squad leader to go up there. The micro dagger is the GPS, by the way.
Alright. Have a very your task will each one of you going to rising coordinate.
Yes, sir.
But you're going to allow your team going to allow them the ability to determine how they are going to practice, and you will have the ability to either coordinate them, deny. Now, preferably
Yeah.
most ideal situation, squad leaders should not fight with their squaddies. Never fucking fight with squaddies. If the team leader seems to have a better idea, and if you think it's viable, permit it to them. Now, this one is going to be fairly simple. Instruct your team leaders to reach the following area and let them execute that order. Understood? Alright. Now I'm going to teleport you boys to individual components, and to do that, let me just handle the teleport. Preferably, if possible, split your groups into separate teams, each 4 people strong, okay?
Roger.
So you're not in the core group anymore.
Okay. So let's leave the group and make
Leave
it
and I'll
more
join
both.
you, script.
Guys, join me.
No, we're joining.
Leave
Picture, we're
the-
gonna
leave the group.
and join on you for the purposes of
How'd you
team.
join? How'd you leave?
There.
Uh,
I'm in your
team
group.
base.
Yeah, I found it. I got it.
I haven't left
join
yet.
on
Hold
you.
up.
To join.
We good?
Any of you
Oh
are
boy.
new
Why
players?
did I join
Oh,
Bible
sorry.
Now I am.
So we just need to
Oh.
go from one end of the zone to the other.
Alright.
Actually, no, you.
Pretty much.
Here
But
I
I
am.
see
You get
how the
yellow.
scenario is going to be.
Box
They'll
yellow is
probably
ready.
Throw shit at us along the way.
Hang on.
TBT is ready.
2, 3, 4.
Team PP is ready.
Do we change our channels or no? Hold up.
Do we all have
No, no, no.
Garrus.
Chance.
Well,
Gamers are ready.
we'll do it there. Alright, there. When we're gone. Alright.
Right, get your guns out, boys.
Oh yeah, so range channel.
Who is Team PP again?
Me, Coda, and the rest.
Let's
Listen. Farah.
Hey.
Alright. Team row 3.
Gareth. We're calling you.
Yeah, well,
Oh, Gareth. Talking on the radio.
oh, sorry. Say again, Kroger?
Hello. Bring teleport.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so
Guys, we're in the yellow zone, alright? As you can see, we are basically where the arrow is. And with the other side, I would assume I'm just gonna set as our goal. I'll set the goal. The goal is to get to the chapel of Arudi. Alright?
where's that located?
That is just south. If you scroll out a little bit, you'll see that at the end of the yellow zone there's a yellow rectangle.
Ah, I see it. Okay.
And that will be. Everybody has eyes on that, yes?
Yep,
You got it.
And now, if you would be so kind and change your 148 radio to channel. Let's assume that we are Charlie, since we're the third from the left. So I want you all to change to channel 23.
Testing, you're okay?
Okay.
Testing, you're okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will also assign colors to you.
Squad leaders, you copy.
Yo.
You all have permission to send your teams out. Carry out the maneuver and reach the southern half.
Belgrade copies.
Game is copy.
Okay,
PP
boys.
copy.
Your team red, green, and blue. I hope you can see that, yeah? And
Green.
so, alright guys, what's your plan? So, how would you like to move out to the southern?
Remember, a key ability of the team leader is to decide where to move his team on his own. The squad leader can override this command, but team leaders should ideally separate themselves at an adequate distance and utilize their teams to cover the area evenly.
Kurgar, objective is
Just
to
mark it
push into
down
the
in-
high intel area, correct?
Negative, just reach the southern half of your colored sector.
Copy.
One of my plans is in for red right here. So go ahead and cut through this small patch of trees onto the other one, and then head straight into the town. You guys suggest? All right then.
Alright.
Ready to head out? Or... Oh, well, what?
I was thinking that one of the teams, I mean, if we're operating as a team, one of the teams could cover from this hill while the rest of the teams move up forward and kind of bound for the teams. And once the first teams have moved, say, halfway, then they climb down the hill and then proceed.
Yeah, that's
to the rest of
exactly what I'm gonna have. That's almost as I would have done it too. I mean, I personally would have gone all the way from the west, but that's fine. We're gonna do it the way, like, I'm gonna give a little mix of all of you, so all of you get a little bit of say. I'm gonna have Walrus, since you suggested it, I'm gonna have you stand by basically here in the beginning. I'm gonna call it waypoint 1. Whoops. Workout. From there you're gonna overlook gonna overlook red and green's movement, right? Red and green is basically gonna set up. Then red is basically gonna set up here as an overlook, and yellow team, is it yellow? No, it's green. And green is gonna basically keep moving until here. Right, I really like the approach. I really like the grass approach. Once blue team is set up, green and red continue. Once red is set up, green is gonna continue while blue is gonna push up to red. And then once green is in its position, then red and blue push up together to green, and then we're just gonna take like the super S through the town. We're gonna hike together. Any questions?
No.
Okay, then let's move out. Up until waypoint 1, we're just gonna move together. Let's move out, I would say. We're gonna treat AO as hostile. We have what's going on in the AO. So we're to
These are fucking heavy.
case. I think from these rocks over we can view over.
No.
So I'm in position. Where?
Yeah, you guys push forward, green and red, and red call it in when you're set.
Garrus? I'm
Yeah.
gonna move like 100 meters to those since I'm out of bed.
CS leader, I'm a bit more to your south.
Roger that.
Girl guy, this is Coda. We reached the second half of our squares. Should we stop or we keep going south?
Who's in position?
Crossing road now.
Girl guy, this is Coda. My squad reached the other half of the colored square. Should we keep going south or we stop over here?
I'm in position in 3, 2, 1.
Red team, you're in position?
Wait 1. Just getting up on some rocks to get better advantage. Yeah, in position.
Yeah, green team, continue on to your waypoint. Blue team is gonna push up to red now.
Roger that.
At first glance, the town looks clear.
This is blue at waypoint 2.
green.
God damn. This is green team. I've reached waypoint 3.
Roger, set up overwatch, red and blue, and commander pushing to your position now. Meanwhile, green team, why don't you load a IR and get it over the town so we can scan if there's enemy hostiles in town.
Will comply.
These kind of directions. We push to the forest.
Can we just quickly connect into how they are?
Hey guys, I'm a bit lost. What are we doing? Are we grouping up or? Okay.
Red team, blue team, I'm seeing no context in the town right now.
You're on the long range.
Been safe.
What should I do?
Roger,
How do I change him?
blue team, green team, head to that wall by the red house. When you're in position, us two will push up to you.
Routine copies.
This is blue. I'm in position by the wall.
We're pushing up to you.
Roger.
Alright, we're moving up to you.
Good job, guys. End of exercise.
Nice.
You can put the guns away. And put your... Nah, let's just leave the 148s at 3. We're probably gonna do more like this soon.
Why is there blood everywhere?
Somebody got probably hurt.
Oh, gee. Yeah, you stepped in the rabbit, I don't.
The enemy is on your head.
And the thing is,
Listen, I feel more
the thing is
confident
that
in not sticking
this
next
head
to you
is
now. That's
perfect
good.
both for.
It's more like
I can't
common
see anything.
sense.
But what are you doing?
Please hold me tight, Battle Den.
Yeah.
You're putting what?
Look
I
at
am.
me. Just staring at the sky.
Is nobody?
Bum, 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 bum.
Bought a pizza for us all.
Oh boy.
Hope
This
this
is
doesn't end terribly.
No?
Alright, for Infear. Keep moving, move up like 100 meters.
We're getting a bunch of
south,
other
okay?
people on our radio.
Wrong radio.
We should probably change
Thanks,
it to
Roland.
something
Fuck.
else. We changed our
Wrong
channel to
radio.
channel 3 on the short range as well.
Yeah,
Just
man,
protect
you
us.
really like
Why's
that
my
map.
gun?
Yes, I love it. I need a very good sign. This map. If it doesn't fill up my entire view vision, then
Yeah.
I like how
I need to be able to collect
what you
all
guys
the
are doing,
data.
really?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, work on my speech. Jesus Christ. Seashells, seashells by the seashore. Don't touch me, I'll touch you back.
Yeah.
Surgically.
The sixth
Hey,
sheep.
so-
The sixth sheeks.
She sells
sheep
seashells by the
is
seashore.
sick. Sixth sheeks. The sixth sheep is sick.
Alright, everybody.
Ooh.
And they're incorrect.
What you conducted just now is a basic way of handling maneuvering as a team, or rather on a team-to-team basis. While you might have think uneventful, you have not seen targets, simulated exercise bring out much action. You didn't see any. That's
Did Crow guys stop talking or my radio died?
Oh,
okay.
I can't tell. Oh.
It happened.
I'm back.
Alright.
Hello.
Alright, while you guys are able to maneuver and utilize multiple methods of navigating the terrain depending on the situation that you were inside of, I have to commend your guys' ability to direct these teams in an independent and yet organized manner. The very important aspect of team leader, own the initiative, utilize his own mind in the field to get the best information and to get the team in the best possible situation. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. Now, we will be entering a slightly different chapter of our little NCO training experience. While you guys have mastered very basic capabilities the team leader can do by moving about in the, there is just the sheer fact that moving around not enough to make a successful mission. So, what we're going to do is the following. You guys will now act individual squad leaders for each sector. Every one of you will become a squad leader, hypothetical platoon of 4 people. And what you will do is you will repeat the same scenario utilizing the map as a baseline, drawing your troop movements. To do this, however, you need to learn the basics of squad to squad combat. Now, a squad leader is a leader of a 6 to 8 man group within the infantry force, or rather the infantry platoon present in the mission. Rolling. What else does a squad leader do? Yeah, also you want to raise your, when you're speaking you want to boost your voice, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, very good job on the stealth, by the way. I was watching you guys a lot of the time.
How can you watch?
Well, because I am the all-seeing eye. And anyways, Ceramis. Ceramis. What does a squad leader also do?
I'm a bit too dumb, and I don't really know.
All right. Well, at least you admit it. The big issue with people. Listen, this is a big issue with many people in the officer corps and among NCOs. When people don't know what they're doing, they sometimes don't tell you that. And at least I can commend Ceramis for showing up to this seminar and telling me that he doesn't know. But I know somebody who does. Stroyox, what's a squad leader also do?
Wow, that was a low move.
So, okay, so a squad leader pretty much like takes up a sector. That could mean an area, or he basically a squad leader out attack.
Alright, and finally, Walrus. What else does a squad leader do? Walrus.
Thinking. Oversees that certain tasks are fundamental to the operation are performed efficiently.
Ah, and this is what I was looking for among all these answers. While you boys able to find out adequate information pertaining to the situation, you have to realize one important thing. The primary goal of the squad leader is to ensure that his squad completes the objective assigned to said squad. The other components that he does, organizing the team lead, making up a tactical plan, and utilizing the team's abilities to the best extent to complete the mission, all an extension of the fact there is a mission in the first place. This also gives the squad leader a special ability compared to other people within the squad, and that's bridging the gap between the command element and the rifleman. The squad leader and situation at large necessary and relevant to the squad, and he has to regularly communicate and send feedback to the platoon leader. There is also another thing that squad leader has to understand, that he's not the only squad leader present on the battlefield. There are at least 2 more at any given moment. And what is extremely important in that fact is also the fact that not only do squad leaders communicate their superior commander, they also have the ability to mutually relay information between individual squads. And this is where the crux and the difficulty of squad leader gets in. We call it a very bad verb called responsibility.
Oh no.
A squad leader is responsible for making the right judgment every time he plays the mission. The big pressure within this whole factor is the fact that he's the only one capable of making this. So next time when you pick slots, rifleman, consider it to have tactical upper hand and to have a degree of autonomy of squad leader to let him alleviate the greater tactical situation that he. You understand that?
Right.
Give me a big loud yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Aye, aye.
Alright. Of course, squad leader also has another. He commands a bunch of people, a bunch of children, a bunch of people which have barely gotten up. In some cases, have not even gone to university. These people are raw. They are killers. Their whole goal in life is killing. So, when you have a bunch of killers, a group of people, and they have a man trying to boss them around, fixture, tell me what happens.
Goes to shit.
Why does it go to shit? Why do these problems go to shit? Pip, tell me why.
Because you have idiots like me with dudes.
Exactly, he's not wrong. There are many people taking the piss. There are many people trying to lose, trying to, just be a little slack about it.
No, they're just funny.
There's a reason behind this. Soldiers want to kill people. But they're also kind of bored. There's a way to fix this. And there is a key problem. Now, in the past, big problem within the group itself was the fact that sometimes riflemen would be at odds with the squad leader. Friction would be created on the merit of the squad leader's orders. And what is important to happen for every viable squad leader is for their situation to not be worsened by interacting with the riflemen. In the end, you guys are being aggressive with one another. You're not making the enemy your enemy. You're making the squad members your enemy. And we don't want that to happen. As a result, it's important for us to do two things. First component. Designate menial tasks for the riflemen. Either on a team-by-team basis or a individual basis. Whenever you guys are experiencing a stalling or a downtime, you can utilize this. Give the guys some kind of an activity to ensure that they're. Send them as forward scouts. Send them to restock munitions. Cut grass. They will have an activity and they will do that activity because it's an order. The second thing.
Oh,
the
yes,
second
we can.
thing. Have you are an NCO.
God, I love you.
You need to have a level camaraderie with them, and you need to make sure is that you are on good terms with your squad members. Because if you have a squad which internally hates each other, which internally has spite and problems brewing within them, what happens?
Cohesion is at an all-time low.
Exactly, and we don't want that. The French call this esprit de corps, the spirit of the corps. What you guys need to do, you need to get on your squaddies' levels. You need to interact with them positively. You need to consult them on situations. If they are bored, ask them why they are bored and what they like to do. If talk to them, be active. Do not rely on them causing buffoonery. Prevent it before it happens by giving them something to do, by interacting with them on a regular. And this transcends outside of the mission. When you guys finish the leave the mission and you leave the battle space, you leave armor behind when and Monday begins. Talk to them on Discord. Hang out with them in teams. Watch movies together. Play video games together. Just do. Whenever you have the time, if you feel like people to get on good terms in the group, do it. You have to do it because if you're a stranger, if you're an outsider, if people don't like you, you'll have problems emerge. And we don't want that to happen. Now, if this information divulged, you guys will enter the next chapter of the training. And what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to assume the role of individual squad leaders. For each team, this means PBT and PP and gamers and P4 and Earl Grey. You guys will assume the role of individual platoons, and what you will do is you will submit a tactical plan for each one of your sectors. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Roger.
Alright. Within your groups are already some which are active squad leaders, which have had experience team leading. What I want you to do is I want you to act, simulate, plan out an effective plan for action. The same as before, the task you need to do is reach a point on the southern end. Organize your tactical plan and write it on the map.
Alright, so
feel
each
free
one of us
to use
makes a
any
different plan,
according
right?
colors. Feel free to use any according colors. The point is that individual squads need to be pointed out. Understood?
Do we delete the path or no?
Alright, you have around 10 minutes to think the plan up because the war is happening and the tanks are rolling. You don't have all the time in the world. Understood?
Roger.
Yes, sir.
Alright, flash the plan up.
Should we divvy the
You're gonna
sector
draw
into four?
Fuck, we better start now. Okay,
Let's walk over here.
Kennedy.
Yeah,
Let's go a little bit further.
Let's go a little bit back, people, so that they
Okay,
don't.
let's get a little bit from where everybody's talking.
Scripts? What's going on?
The bunker? Alright.
Now in front of the bunker ship, man. Hear anybody that?
Come to the comfy.
The war room.
The war room, gentlemen.
Alright. War game.
Well, there was like, to be fair, taking like the same. I mean, what we did on like a squad level would work just as fine. I mean, what we did on like a team leader level would work just as fine on the squad leader level. So, speaking, I don't think we would have anything about that. But for like shits and giggles, let's assume that we're trying a two-front assault. All right. From the east and from the west, I would say, unless somebody wants to like disagree with that. I would say one point of attack should be here, and 1 point attack should come over this comp, and then basically end up somewhere here again. Or I guess we could like come like we could come from here with 2 teams, and we could come from here with 2 teams, basically.
Got it.
To like sorta have like eyes on the entire northern front. Alright. So that's like my suggestion for this. You can like suggest something different, but that would at least have like some sort of new ways to it, I guess.
Yeah. I think along the way have like little spots, like at least one eye out, let the other one pass.
Well, we do like the bounding just the way we did, I would say. Like I would say that for the left team, let's just say white and red, just because top. So me and red code, we're just gonna take the west, I guess. I guess I'm gonna watch over red code somewhere from. Can I have white? Yeah. Gonna watch over red code somewhere over here, while red code moves up to his somewhere there, I guess. And then I don't know, blue and green. You put your own markers down of how you want to move from the east.
A slight addendum to the situation that you guys are currently drawing. The intent is not merely to move from A to B. The point is to clear the whole grid square out effectively and with planning thought.
Perfectly.
Okay.
No, that's not bad for us because we're going east and west. Really
Yeah,
not
alright.
bad for us.
Okay.
Let's.
I think for the east, as you can see, the road kind of winds with lots of cover in between, like each bend of it. For example, there's this cover over here. There's this cover over here.
Yeah.
So
but you need to be rather wet. You need to be rather much east. Like I would definitely suggest that you go somewhere from here, because we need to clear the entire squid grid, as they just said on the radio.
That's a sheer cliff, is a thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's a sheer cliff downward, upwards. Yeah, like basically kind of here, like on the upper ridge, but like having the rocks as a cover from like the lower ground here.
Got it.
I guess.
Okay,
or
so
from the
because
higher
what
ground.
I was originally thinking.
Never mind. This is the higher ground. Okay, yeah, sure.
What I was originally thinking is the 2 remaining squads would stick together up until around here, in which case they would split off, one hooking around like this, and then the other hooking here, and then maintaining a defensive line to prepare to move into the town while the other squad clears behind.
You want me to take that part for defense?
Craig, I come in.
Yes.
Val, where?
Is the objective to not let enemies inside the AO, or is it we can let them in, but we
my point
you
of
push
view,
through
like
the
where
AO
I'm
and
as white,
ensure
I
that there
can
is
put
no
the
enemy
Hunter IR
presence
to
in the AO.
Laval and see if there's anything there.
So we clear it out.
So
In
it's
fact, actually,
easy
yeah.
peasy.
One of the things you could do, just one squad does the defense while another hooks around the valley, and then regroups and then joins the defense.
Defense, or do you want to take the?
I'll take the valley.
Okay, the valley. That's the outer end. square, right?
Try to put it in your colors so we have like clear idea of what's up.
So you're gonna take the. I'll go on colors then. Break off point. Here, or at least approximately around here.
Oh, you're not doing the hook around, right?
Oh.
Garrus,
Okay, I'm confused.
You want to do the hook around north and then south like this, or do you want to just stick together with blue?
No, I'll stick together. Oh.
No, as in should CS hook?
Yeah.
Hook the valley, or should he stick with blue?
CS can
I
hook
think
the valley,
hooking the valley,
but honestly,
I think we could cover ground, but at the same time we'll be
but
connected.
look,
Maybe make a bit of a.
you can
ground.
stay more on the high ground though. Like you don't have to hook around all the way. You can hook around like here, where if all the rocks is covered. You don't need to hook around like all the way.
Alright. Let me write it down so I don't get. Oh, wait, okay. So Garrus, you want me to meet up with you, or do you want me to keep on the east?
Kroger, can you send us in now, as our plan has been
to basically blue
constructed?
and red. I mean,
Negative.
Blue and green.
What you're going to do is you're going to stand by until the timer runs out, then we're going to assemble again.
Blue and red.
Copy, that's fine.
I mean, blue and green to end here and have eyes on the town. And I want white and actually it's a little bit too far, red code. I want white and red to end up here and have eyes on the town.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because I think from where the end point is, you have a good position to step off and head into town with relatively. And then once we have secured a foothold, then you and Red can move in.
Yeah, exactly. Like then when we're all there at the fucking endpoints, we can still think about if we want to actually go in or if it's already end and Kroga is gonna call end.
Yep.
Or something like that. So, oh, whoops. Okay. Yeah. I'll report that Earl Grey is ready to present plan or something like that. Then I'm gonna anti-R when me and Red are close to Laval, and then just me and Red are gonna take care of it. You just focus on your things, green and blue. Yeah, Laval will be taken by green. I mean, by red and white. Problem.
So let's say the enemy starts prioritizing on both green team and blue team. What do you want us to do?
If green and blue are getting like fucked, then we are like definitely still on the upper high ground from white Overwatch and even from the white and red end, so we can definitely fire over to you from there. No problem.
Alright.
We'll probably be mostly having sides of them from our Overwatch positions, so it's no biggie. I think this is a solid plan.
Alright then.
Earl Grey is ready.
Check this place out, and I check
what place out.
I like that little line on the map. Feels like a
Earl Grey is ready, Kroga.
Before the timer goes down.
Yeah.
Kroga?
I'll update. At
15
the mountain.
seconds.
Maybe 5
Hey,
minutes.
Kroga.
And just take out what we can.
15 seconds.
Down to that house
Nice.
that Hunter marked.
Alright. What do you have in this crate? Nothing. Wow. Lame.
Hit the stand up and you could be
All
teleported.
right, guys. Timer's run out. Assemble back at the tents. The camel nets. My bad.
Alright, sit down.
That's what they're called? Oh.
I am sick.
You know.
aerodynamic DP.
Dolphin dive.
Why am I like... Lakota, why are you fastening me? No idea.
Big late.
Okay.
Oh.
Those, like... Yeah, I'll grab
See,
it
I
right now. I used to have a really powerful
Ah!
laser.
I wasn't actually that.
Yo, I'll tell you a story about a laser. Actually, no.
Alright, guys.
Shut up.
Guys, pipe down.
We left our group.
So, you might just be wondering right now, what the hell were you drawing all this shit for? Your squad leader. Oh. What I'm just going to segue next into with the element of planning, which all of you guys have been drawing squad-based platoon level plans on maps for. We'll go through each one of them and we'll analyze their benefits and what their advantages are. Understood? Now, the final thing that I'd like to say about squad leading. Many people in FPArma like to find the reason. They like to find the reason to confront themselves, to get into a fight with the rifleman over something. Don't. When you do that, you might as well dissolve the squad. As a squad leader, odds with his own rifleman at this point doesn't command anything anymore. If you have to resolve an issue, if it's a issue that transcends just basic tasks, basic conduct, anything, notify a moderator. A moderator is always active in the... Even if that's not the case, notify them over Discord. There are multiple ways of doing this. The key thing that I want you guys to do is to not take the law in your own hands. As squad leader, you have to be responsible for your riflemen the most. And by fighting them, you're doing the exact opposite. Understood?
Yep.
Alright,
yes, sir.
Now, that being said, we're entering a new stage of our little session. We've been doing this for about an hour right now, and I hope that you guys have had enough of a leisure time with the planning session. So, what we're going to do now, we're going to take these plans up for analysis, and we're going to utilize that as a means of explaining what's going on these maps, how we can use the information on these maps, and how to utilize the plan that's written. Now we're going to start out first. If Team CBT, get one of your guys out on the table. Everybody, open your maps. Alright, now Elix, what you're going to do is you're going to explain what the platoon does in the CBT area.
Alright.
And speak loud, by the way.
So is my...
You need to do the acre loudness as well.
hang on,
Acre yell.
Felix?
Yeah, I'm adjusting my acre. Am I just gonna have to turn up my acre output?
I mean, like
no,
from
the
whisper to yell. The tab,
Like
the tab.
Yeah, well, I've turned that up.
Ah, okay, great. Alright,
no,
well
I
now
did
what
do
you're going to do is you're going to explain the basics of your plan. We're going to go through it, and we're going to analyze what makes a good plan and what makes a bad plan.
Alright. So, Team PD was assigned a basically kind of a wide open ass space with a huge valley that plunges down towards that inlet on the west corner. Consequently, as a result, we decided that what our mission pretty much is going to be is scouting and overwatch. As in theory, if we have a war going on, we want to be watching the coastline and the area south outside of our held area. To that end, Team Red takes a wide tack across the fields west and then adopts a position near the edge of the zone so where they can see down into the valley and on the coastline and have full adequate coverage over the west side of the zone and pretty much anywhere on there. They probably won't be able to see the actual road that's under Hill 60, 62, and all that shit. We could easily get down there if something was happening outside of the zone. Team Green is crossing through the middle and adopting an overwatch position at basically what is essentially the top of that valley looking down into the plunge so that they have coverage over there and down into the south. However, they don't have coverage really far into the south because of the rain, and so that's why Team Blue going first to the platoon overwatch with whatever squad would be basically platoon command / our backup squad. And then they're going to proceed forward down to the church, which is where our initial push was in the first time. The church turns out to have a really great vantage point over the village and the town further south, which would give us a great position to observe the front line. Platoon command, which we've dubbed Purple, which could just be another squad, honestly. It doesn't have to be a leadership element. They are sort of holding back as a position at platoon overwatch, and in the event that we did engage in combat, they are available as a reserve to push forward, and if necessary, they could push forward and cover the gap that Blue is missing on the southeast corner. All in all, we are dealing with very hilly terrain, and our plan puts us through that terrain into positions of advantageous view over the hillside with commanding positions where we can shoot at anybody that happens to be invading.
Very good. Alright, now, what we're going to go through here is, Elix, stick around for a moment.
I'm not going anywhere.
Alright. What Team CBT has done for their platoon was they conducted an open space movement across completely rural terrain. This terrain is extremely difficult to traverse by usual means. There is no infrastructure present. The entire geography is completely natural. As a result, there are many issues pertaining to this. You may have a hard time controlling vehicles. Navigating it is very difficult. There is a big mountainous incline on the entire space, and you can see this on your maps very easily by following the contour line. But the big issue, I read that the big benefit, the big good thing that the entirety of Team CBT has done in here is the fact that they've designated a general movement pattern and a general structure of a base of fire area for each individual squad in the platoon. These squads have successfully established a surveillance entire plane as well as the town further south of their sector that they have just secured. Doing this is very easy to, by doing this, by spreading your squads out, making sure that the whole open space is covered evenly by your squads, you will successfully avoid a high-level threat impacting large numbers of casualties on your troops, while also simultaneously achieving high levels of surveillance. Alright, Felix, get back to the table. Like, just take a step back. Alright. Next up, Team PP. Alright, Destroyers, get up to the table. Let's see what you can say.
Okay,
Just do it from here.
Okay, so basic idea is we're supposed to cover the desert. Basically, we're moving south. So with that, all the squads are going to be squad red will then private their watch. I'll be covered yellow. Yellow gets all green. Mark here. Red will be.
All right, very good. Now, what I'm going to bring out in in the plan that that Team PP has done, they have done a very important thing of covering the situation for potential multiple types of hostiles. They have ensured that squads have a good visibility on the area ahead of them, and most importantly, they have captured they have captured the higher ground, utilizing utilizing it as a means of surveying the area further up ahead. This is extremely important as utilizing high ground as infantry gives you a major intel advantage over those in the lowlands. While you might not be as stealthy as a typical foot mobile squad in thick forestation or in urban lowland terrain may be, you have the advantage of figuring out who is where before they show up and fight you. Now, let's suppose, however, that something does happen. That these boys are taking up these dirt tracks and the main road going through their sector. Let's say that the red squad in Team PP's plan suddenly runs into an ambush monitoring this road. What's gonna happen?
Oh, blue, yellow with.
Exactly, and that's a good factor that you accounted for when planning this big plan out. When you're making a mission, or rather when you're setting out objectives for your squads to accomplish on a platoon level basis, you have a big issue ahead of you, and that is whenever to use or not use the roads. Now, Aradiel, why would you use a script, Kitty? And when would you not use it? Alright. Sure.
Personally, I feel like you should avoid roads whenever possible. Roads are death traps.
That's a very important thing that Hunters just said. Roads are death traps for one important reason. They are big, they are open, they have little cover around them. Even in an urban terrain, they are surrounded by buildings, provide cover and obscurity for the enemy and no cover for you. It is very easy for whenever you guys are traversing an area that you get yourself into trouble because you've taken the road and you stuck to the road. If you are utilizing the road, you have to be careful on it. You have to consider that there might be an immediate threat posing down, watching, and getting ready to strike at you guys, moving fast and rapidly down the road. In the Stroyok's example, in the case that PP did, you guys have ensured that your squad, which will be traversing down this main road, the MSR on the path, will be under protection by the other squads by giving them overwatch capability further down the lane, which will ensure them at least some degree of assurance against any potential enemy forces. Always consider this planning out a plan follows the roads. The Stroyoks, you would especially know that considering last week. Very good. Alright, now the next section. That's Team Earl Grey. Get your boy up front. Explain the plan.
Yeah. So basically, what was important for us is making sure that teams have the possibility to overlook each other. We have an AO that, or I guess I should say first, we have an AO that is like from west to east, basically declining in height rather rapidly. For us, it was important to make sure that all elements stay somewhat close to each other, like not further than like 200 meters out, so we can quickly reroute and support each other in case something happens. Another point for us that was important was to make sure that we utilize cover to the best of our possibility. The third point was that we're moving approximately at the same speed. That's why we like set up some like phase lines slash waypoints where we would first proceed, and then like we would wait until everybody's position and then proceed to our endpoints. Also, the fourth point would be to utilize the equipment that we have at hand, which is Hantayar grenades, so we can scout compounds like Laval in the west and also Arudi in the south. And last point was to kind of have Kishido, like we assumed that we're probably going to somewhat like assault Arudi or like move to Arudi. So we have two elements that are on the high ground that would be red and white. We have capabilities to overlook a sort of like a dirt road coming from the south, while also being able to provide the base of fire in case of an assault, while blue and green would basically take the low ground and have more cover to push into Arudi and like commence the assault. So that was basically our thinking behind it.
Alright, and in this plan, you see a very important thing that Team Earl Grey has considered. They have considered differences in relief and terrain to give themselves a situational advantage, to give themselves an ability to sneak through the front line up to the enemy's position. This area is extremely jagged. It's full of mountains, full of ravines, full of big rocks sticking out of the ground, hard cover that you can utilize. And besides all of that, there is also the thick Mediterranean woodline that you can utilize as concealment when you're approaching the enemy. They have correctly realized that to execute this kind of an approach without being seen, without causing too much of a notice, and without being detected, they can do that by establishing baselines and by scouting the further area out in front of them, utilizing digital surveillance cameras that are present in most squad leaders and platoon leaders' grenade launchers. These are called Hantayar cameras, and what we're going to do is we're going to use them as the foundation of C3I, which we're going to bring up later in the training. Alright, Garrus, that's good enough for now, you can go home.
Yeah.
Alright, gamers. Alright, fixture. I want it to be a little quick. Simple plan, and I think you can describe it very concisely. Where to go.
Okay, so if you look on the map, Hunter has drawn a grid around the area. What me and Script are gonna do, so we're dividing into two teams of two. Me and Script are gonna push up to the highest available point, which is the little circle of red around it, as Script is indicating, or Distracts. If that is not good enough, I have marked a high position that is just on the edge of our square, so we're still allowed to use it. And if you look to the right, Hunter and the other guy, I can't remember his name, Ceramis, they're gonna shop and they can basically take position wherever they want. Like, I haven't really drawn out a plan for them, as I've written wherever you suggest is right. And our objective for me and Script is basically just provide Overwatch, and whatever we see, just take out. I've also drawn a little line arrow that pushes further into the center of the grid, to a house, which maybe me and I'll push up with scripts cover, and then we can further in AO. That's simple definition of it.
Alright, very good. Now, you guys may be saying, oh, well, fixture and the team gamers plan, oh, it's so simple. It's just a couple of lines. It looks like a PP, but except really abstract and geometric. There's an important thing in this plan, something that some of you guys have not exactly considered when writing your thing up. That's the concept of two things. Relegation of squads into sub-components of the platoon, and the establishing of phase lines. Now, Hunter, why do we use a phase line?
One squad doesn't push ahead of the others and gets caught off guard and alone.
Alright. Pip, why do we use
Coordinate the attacks to make sure everyone arrives at the same time.
Alright. As you guys can obviously see here, you guys have excellent knowledge of phase lines. Phase lines are good. Use them. What their whole purpose is to synchronize troop movements through the front line. Even if units are separated, even if units are in a high-intensity combat scenario, they can still track phase lines and they can maintain pacing ideally to what the plan has originally envisioned through them. Phase lines should not ideally be crossed depending on the principle of whenever or not they're even fully occupied or not. When the entire platoon is ready to advance, the phase line is being crossed. Now, of course, you may consider, oh, well, where do we draw a phase line? The whole point is that it's an arbitrary line. However, you can base it on multiple principles. You can base it on the outskirts of a town. You can base it on natural borders, geographic landmarks connect each other, and this is great because it gives individual squads points of reference for them to check. However, there is one mistake in the team gamers plan. Can you guys tell me what it is?
I mean, that's
Elix got it. Now, I'm going to give you guys an anecdote. Some of you guys might not even been in the group when this happened, but a long time ago, I was platoon leading a mission on Serani. And what I did was, we were punching a combined arms force for the city of Corozal. Our target was the city of Bagango. We were given outdated M60 tanks and M113 PIVATS vehicles, the anti-aircraft M113s. There's only a slight issue though. You see, I put the rally point on the front line, where we haven't cleared it yet. When the boys reached the rally point, because of what I did in the planning, we lost all of our armored vehicles and we had to fall back and think up a new strategy. If you guys ever watched these videos that we posted, that's the one where I throw my helmet down at the floor in rage, realizing my own fucking stupidity and shooting it.
Yeah, that just isn't the actual regroup point of our plan. We just
generally
was there.
But generally, Hunter, when I'm talking about these kinds of things, when I'm talking about an objective area, regroup somewhere where you're already cleared. Don't regroup where you haven't been yet. Understood?
Yeah.
Remember that, or you will get killed. You will have people lose their lives. Even today, when we played the mission, when we regrouped at the village, we got counterattacked at the very outskirts.
Yeah, regroup pizza.
Regroup pizza. Remember that, boys. Sure.
Can I get on?
Sure.
On the map, I think in plan, this would be the ideal regroup.
Yeah, exactly. You have a fortified compound that you have already cleared, and that would be an ideal position. So
because
remember, boys.
One squad gets there, and the other squad gets there and basically one squad gets to the phase line and secures it. They push forward, and then that squad just steps back into where they've already secured, while the other squad crosses over. To catch up.
Exactly. That's very good. Very good. That's a
Something
very
like,
good
or
observation.
whatever.
Alright,
Go ahead.
now, taking that into account, we cannot say that this plan is garbage. It has a lot of good parts to it. But you need to always consider that an oversight like this can lead to massive casualties for no reason. I caused massive casualties to my own platoon by my own stupidity. And all I did was put a dot on a map. Remember that. Alright, now finally, we got Rawlings, boys. That's team P4. P4, you got a pretty elaborate little plan. Give me a rundown.
Alright. So, I don't know. Got a little down there. Kind of a pain in the dick. We start up there. 2 squads are gonna come. Or 1 squad is gonna come fucking basically create. I mean, it's urban, so like designate specific lines with people. And people gotta figure out that shit on themselves. You know, gotta figure out where the safest stacked route town. You can't really figure that out. But basically, out through there, town, clear it. The white guys there, because they're gonna do is they're gonna make sure that no enemies over here or over here, and they're gonna be able to watch, basically make sure town crawling with enemies and shit, and if necessary they can fucking port. But basically their job is just as observe, make sure that we're not in an urban area, fucking these tight quarters, can't see anything going around the surrounding area. Upon clearing, arrive at red fucking team and the arrive at the phase line. Alright, obviously you're not just gonna go across the open field because that's pretty fucking stupid. So what red teams, they're gonna hold the buildings edge of the town so they can look down fucking hill. Actually, pretty sure that yeah, that's downhill. They're gonna look down. If anyone comes up, shoot the shit out of them. Green teams fight over happen to them, and they're gonna do clear lumber mill. Once that's happened, they'll arrive at fucking phase line 2. Red team will up trees, be more kind of this road back here might be safer. And get into the trees, and they arrive at that phase line. They can see across that open. And as far as going down the hill, kind of sucks. Yeah, I don't know. Got to do bounding. Get down the hill. I guess eventually you'd fucking down to there. But yeah, here you go.
Alright, now Rawlings' plan is quite good. He has established that it is necessary for everyone to go and clear out the town of La Trinite. The clearing out of the town can be very general and handled on a squad-to-squad basis. There is a force out in the tree lines carrying out surveillance of the outskirts to make sure that any reinforcements and any enemy forces on the outskirts are cut off and isolated. This allows the guys in the urban area to properly secure the terrain. This is extremely important when fighting in urban environments. The first thing you want to do while fighting in urban spaces is to surround it. By surrounding it, you are successfully ensuring that nobody gets in and nobody gets in. Only people that are capable of being in the town is the enemy that was in the town before you got there. Now, besides that, of course, there are also the presence of nice phase lines, which will be utilized by squads on a case-by-case basis.
Which added after.
But, you know, I mean, it's perfectly fine. And finally, the another thing that I'd like to notice is the lack of roads. Roads, of course, are evil. We don't want to use roads, and I want to repeat just before we're done with the planning component. I want everyone to repeat after me. Roads are evil.
Roads
are
evil.
Roads are
Allahu
evil
Akbar.
unless they're
Alright. Very good, very good, very good.
I want to point out roads are fine when you can guarantee that you have authority over.
And that's
and
what
even
gets,
then, and even then, you should drive carefully.
That's what gets me. You just realize something's a little stinky in the state of Denmark. Well, you guys will know. I have not a particular topic out. Convoy. When do we convoy?
Never.
When do we convoy, Koda?
Never.
Yes?
When do we convoy?
Sorry, can you say that again?
When do we convoy?
We only do convoy when you're sure that the road towards our objectives is a safe one, sir.
The road towards the objective is never safe because the road towards the objective is always the one covered by the enemy. It would not be an objective if there were no enemies in it.
Touché. Then we don't do the convoy.
Never convoy. When you're on the front line, when you're fighting a war, you never fucking convoy. Ever.
Convoy in safe territory.
Convoying is when you're sending boxes around, when you're making sure that the fuel for the general war effort is sorted out, when you need to make sure that a large line of trucks gets to
when you need to move bombs to the airfield.
When we need to move bombs to the airfield. Not
rolling fucking disconnect. That's like a crash, like an internet out. But if he actually disconnected because he thought that the next going to happen is convoy practice, I am going to fucking laugh.
You fucking wish I'm not gonna let you guys endure that bullshit.
No, I'm not saying if that's what you thought.
Now listen, guys. We got a little thing here. You guys are kind of planning this. You guys didn't know what the enemy. You will be correct. I have no info on the enemy. There's a solution for that. It's called C3I. C3I is a little bit of a confusing acronym. It's a thing invented by the United States Armed Forces after World War II, and what it encompasses is a very interesting little thing. They have devised that if military organization in the state of combat, there are 4 key factors, and in some cases additional factors, which we're not going to cover in this seminar. That we can utilize to correctly relay orders, to correctly assess information, to correctly collect information, correctly change your plan depending on that information. That's C3I. And what does C3I stand for? That's pretty simple. Remember this in your heads, boys. Command, control, comms, and intelligence. These 4 factors are the keys to your success in every single mission.
Okay.
Yes. No, it's C3. It doesn't have 4 C's. It has 3 C's. Command, control, comms, and intelligence.
Oh.
Yeah, intelligence doesn't start with a C.
Intelligence.
Now, all right. Let's not mess around with the acronym. The acronym doesn't matter to us. What matters is the idea behind the acronym. This whole concept relies around one thing. That's collecting intelligence, sending it back into the command network, processing this intelligence into useful information, and sending it back into the military to be used correctly to alter plans which have been preemptively made for an operation. Now, there are many strategies in the world. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
There's only one viable one, and it's convoying into the enemy airfield.
Now listen, guys. Now, one of them is a legend. Has been one of the American generals in World War II, one of the most successful generals of the time, who has planned the most daring operation, who has even become the two-term president of the United States. His name is Dwight Eisenhower.
Oh, I
What
got it
he
right.
said about warfare.
I know.
Say it, the Strokes.
I find planning. What is it? I'm trying to remember. I don't remember the
Oh,
exact
I
wording,
remember. Yeah.
but something like while planning, like plan itself is invaluable.
Exactly. And he also said another. He also said another thing.
Virgo, can you say the quote, please?
What?
Can you say the quote? Some people didn't hear it.
I didn't hear.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, neither did I.
Just like in school.
What Dwight Eisenhower said. In preparing for battle, I have always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. And there is a reason behind this. Because the initial plan that you guys make, and this is who Eisenhower paraphrased back in the 18th and 19th century. Helmut von Moltke, a Prussian general from a nation historically famous for its militarism, has said the sentence, "No plan survives first contact with the enemy. But we can change the plan to make it work when it's the enemy." That is the point of secret. When we have an initial plan set, when everything is in motion, we can change the course of our destiny by realizing an aspect of a plan is no longer viable before we execute it. And to do this, we need to know how to gather intelligence. Now, all of you boys, get up from the table. Everyone, absolutely everyone, gather around. On these particular sections, you'll see a bunch of scattered items. All of these are utility tools utilized for gathering intelligence. Maps, daggers, micro dagger GPSs, standard GPSs, Vector 21 Night, the best fucking binocular ever in the game, and nobody knows how to use it. It gives you everything.
It's
it
amazing.
even lets you set multiple waypoints on your dagger GPS to set out and plot a full mission course as it's happening.
What binoculars are we talking about?
Vector 21.
On the table?
You can even give other squads bearing from their position to the enemy.
Exactly. There is so much useful data in these tools, and people squander them. Now, besides that, you also have not the Vector. You also have the MX tool. That's the little beige box that's sitting on the table over here. This is a thermal imaging camera that's readily available, light and compact, and you can use it to spot out concealed enemies. Then you have rangefinders for bearing and target designation for the Air Force. Even the regular binoculars will do. There are so many tools at your disposal. Mine detectors.
Hunt-IR.
Hunt-IR.
Hunt-IR
is excellent. Hunt-IR is the most primitive way of collecting intelligence in the field.
It's seriously underused, and it can be really useful when you're doing something like, okay, we're gonna go over this fence and shoot who's inside. Well, fuck, where are they? Oh, wait, I know.
Exactly.
I actually used Hunt-IR earlier when we were doing the go to the south thing in the square, because we didn't know if there's enemies. So...
Exactly. Can never be too sure. And there's a reason behind this. Guys. These tools exist to give you an intelligence advantage. The whole point of warfare, when you have no intelligence, is to get intelligence. And there's more to this than that. You have reconnaissance vehicles, recon infantry, scout vehicles, air-based surveillance, and most importantly, drone technology. Drone technology is the most important tool that we have available. Now, you guys might be thinking
Mark one
to
eyeball.
yourselves, you guys
Ladies and
might be
gentlemen, for
thinking
your
to
consideration,
yourselves,
Shamazon Altus' new delivery drone.
Do a flip.
Why would you think this plastic fucking useless toy has any benefits whatsoever. Well, guys, I'd like you to explain to me why is the darter the most useful asset that we'll ever have in mission?
Because it's very small.
It's hard to spot.
It's very small. It's very hard to spot, and it's got a camera on it.
And it's not a human.
And you can control it remotely.
And
Exactly.
if the local Shoka decides it wants to pick it up on the radar and shoot at it, it's hard to hit.
If you pilot it right enough, you can spot any point in the enemy territory without sacrificing any lives.
I had someone kill a hind with it too once.
It's basically a mobile. This thing is basically a mobile fucking hack.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's cheating.
Yeah,
it's
You basically can cheat.
And remember, guys,
I actually
Report it for AMA.
remember, guys, the most important thing about warfare, we're not playing fair in warfare, we're cheating fucking bastard. We're gonna use every single fucking drone. We're gonna set every single fucking
I'm gonna
drone.
report Krogan cheating.
You guys, I expect you, done with this, do not play fucking fair ever again. Because these kinds of drones are the key to your fucking success.
I want to say one thing. Because I know that there was a good while where we did not use drones at all. Like you just didn't get drones, and if it did, it was like just for command. And I may not, I wasn't obviously a mod at any point in time, so I don't know what the hell was going on in the background. But I feel like it had something to do with the fact that one day in a comfy, the Zeus was spawning items, spawning stuff, for like 6 kilometers away from the platoon, and they gave the platoon a darter, and the darter they just flew the darter straight over to watch the Zeus spawning stuff. So it's like, oh well, here comes a tank, and it's like, oh come on, you fuckers.
That's more of a Zeus thing about
that was a specific thing in companies, but I feel like we didn't use drones in missions for like a year and a half afterwards.
Yeah, there's a partial, like there is a reason why some people don't like having drones in their missions when they make them. However, consider the following. They're fucking useful. They're really fucking.
Oh, they're absolutely
they
great.
are
Like,
the most useful tool you ever have. You will ever have.
I would like to interject on that note because when I made a mission a little while ago, I think it was Corporal Norse 2, I gave every squad a drone operator.
Exactly.
Because that's actually some of the USMC's looking to do in real life, I think, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely.
You're hitting yourself, by the way.
What I was gonna mention is that besides the darter, you also have the Pelican, I believe is the name of it.
But you're not injured.
That's a little bit heavier, and beyond his C3I, the drones, quadcopters are excellent. The Pelican's a hexacopter, sorry. But if you upgrade to the Pelican 2, you also have the option for minor logistics as well, because I remember correctly, the Pelican can sling load.
Yeah, it has
inventory as well.
Yeah, the most important aspect of all these drone surveillance technology is that they have so much additions to them. You can use them.
And if you're a real prick, you can use the demining drone as a little bomber.
Oh yeah, that's the best part.
I also want to point out. If the mission maker did things properly, you can have one of those drones that's right there be the lays for a Rhino firing beyond line of sight ATGM.
Oh, yeah, and then you get to see a high caliber missile fly over the entire map to hit the target.
It happened in my
And I want to point out, I actually and because it follows the lays, if the drone operator is on the ball, they can actually track a moving target, and if they lead it enough, they can have an ATGM fired from like 2 mountain ranges away, hit a moving vehicle.
I've seen a drone lased, I think it was a Hellfire that time, hit a helicopter before, and that was beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
I did it in single player between going. Go ahead.
Of course, you cannot guarantee that you're going to have the best ideal situation ever. The drone is the best ideal situation. Or of course less than ideal, and this of course depends on the entire intel situation. This is highly contextual, highly relative to what the mission maker is doing, and this is what the next section of the training is going to take part in. This is the final one as well, so please bear with me. It's going to be a very practical example.
Alright.
What we're going to do is everyone group up together in the same group, please.
Do we join on you?
You can join me. I mean, it's fine.
That just seems the easiest way to centralize.
Just that to me. Anyways, so there are many intel scenarios that you guys can end up in. You have high intel scenarios, low intel scenarios, medium intel scenarios, and the ability to collect intel is also highly relevant. Now, you might find yourself in a situation where you know absolutely everything. And this means that your initial plan will not require much changing. However, there is also the opposite. You know, jack fucking shit. And I'm going to bring you guys both examples right here, right now. Alright, the first case we're gonna bring ourselves to will be the high level intel scenario. So please bear with me and let's go.
Are we getting to be on the island that's Hill 34?
Now let me just teleport everyone and we'll be...
It was against a place that says high intel.
Yeah, but just on the edge of that is this little island.
Oh.
I circled it.
A very nice island.
Whoa.
Who the hell is tapping me on the shoulder?
That was me.
Oh yeah.
Alright, boys. Everyone is up on the mountain. As you guys can see, it's a very lovely scenic view. And
a lovely
if
view
we
for
look
a helicopter
down,
pop over the horizon.
and if we go up to the hilltop over here, hey, we can see our high land. Open up your binoculars, boys. This is very important.
I don't have any.
Did you drop one?
Yeah.
Here, you can have mine.
Epic.
I'll put it in the backpack. Here you go. Exactly. Now there are all these kinds of nasty little creatures that are going to be lurking about, and the advantage of intel that you're going to have is extremely important to your overall planning situation. If you have high intel, you don't need to think much. You only need to confirm that your beliefs are correct. However, even in that scenario, you guys may run into a case where you will not have the correct information. Now, can you guys open up your maps, consult the high intel area, and tell me if you guys can detect any inaccuracy?
Any what?
I can't see the harbor from.
Alright, but what else can you not see?
I can see Arma.
There's no visible AA at the AA marker on the hill.
No, there is.
No,
there is.
There is?
Launcher.
There's a launcher.
Oh yeah.
There's rocks.
I see. Fucking rock.
Yep. I can see any armor. The armor marker.
Quite a ways
Boys.
the marker.
Radial is correct. Your intel is actually inadequate. One of your points, the armor marker in the southwest area of Le Port at the power plant, indicates there are tanks present there when there in reality aren't any. Now, of course, this is beneficial to you, but sometimes you might be in situations where you have no intelligence of a threat that's looming in the area. And this is why you always have to be considerate and why you always have to scan an area before you go in there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to change course to a different location. We're going to go... Coda.
Did it fix? Sorry?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
My
sorry for
ears
that.
just got blasted.
Alright. After the hell portal has been opened, the hell portal is taking us to the low intel area. Oh no.
But,
what did I do?
Come
on. Are you ruling
I
the moment?
If I'm about to go to the low intel area, I am preemptively.
Can you please stop?
Why do you like this?
Whoop! The hell portal has spit us out.
Oh, I want to get in a
Alright, now we're in a nice little quaint tourist
It's Krogai's
vista.
shack. Look, it's Krogai's shack.
Yeah, it's Krogai's shack. Great, guys. Well, let's get away from the shack. It probably has landmines in it. Anyways, so we've just gotten it low intel area. We know that there's some infantry there, but what else do we see?
I just shot
shot at it.
I just shooting your guns.
Someone fired.
How do I load an IR grenade into my GL? Ah, I see.
And also just scroll wheel of it while we have the GL selected.
I see two.
Someone is firing HE into that.
Hey boys, let's. Plus.
Yeah. There doesn't seem to be any AI on the market there's supposed to be AI on.
A&D script.
It's A&D.
Oh wait, they actually are moving up on the road.
Also, I think
I see
Now,
quite a bit of enemy activity.
As you guys are inspecting the situations, you guys notice that there is a bunch of information that you haven't known about previously entering the light area. If you open your maps, you notice that the only marker that you have situationally is the infantry diamond west of Chapoy. But, wow, you guys found 2 tanks, and you guys found a bunch of infantry patrolling the forest. There's all this information that you guys have collected by just bothering to stop and bothering to look. This is the essence of C3I. Even when we don't know that there is an enemy threat down in the valley, we can confirm it by taking our time, by stopping our action, by recalling the area before we go in there. Now imagine an example case where we may have sent an entire platoon in there and we did not know about the armadas because we never sent anybody to scout the area out. It would be a massacre.
All the little parachutes.
Exactly. And as a consequence of all this, I'd like you guys to consider C3I not only when you're platoon leading, but also when you're mission making. The players need to understand the context of the intel situation, and they also need to understand how to prepare for a low-level intel situation. In this kind of a scenario, you guys have the foreknowledge, a practical example, a case where threat might not come to you, but in a worst case scenario, you guys will be exposed to threats which will try to kill you, which will do everything that they can to murder the fuck out of you. Understood?
But
now,
trying to shoot down the hunter.
Despite all of this, I'd like everyone to stop looking at their binoculars, and I'd like everyone to look to me.
No, Crow guy.
Crow guy.
Quick aside. Correction on the put a picture I took of all of us with Hunter.
Oh, that's lovely.
It might also be noteworthy.
Class picture.
It might also be worth noting that I think that if you put down information on the map, it's a good habit to put down the time as well, because then people can see when your intel has been accurate.
Yeah, time relevant. The time aspect of an information is extremely important, as Garrus pointed out. Time stamping your markers is very vital to realizing how far can something move. Because a tank will never move faster than 50 kilometers an hour in battle. You guys know that. And as a result of that, it's very easy to conclude, oh, well, if it's been spotted somewhere 5 minutes ago, it probably didn't get far, did it? Now, there's something that I'd like to tell you guys. When we take into consideration all these things, when we notice that all these things are considered, and in some cases you guys might get a poor planning decision, a poor oversight that a platoon leader has made when planning the mission. I'd like you guys to point it out and to make them reconsider. But,
politely.
But, in the worst case scenario,
That was a 3GL something.
In the worst case scenario, you will come across a situation which I hope that nobody gets into after this seminar ends, and that's sending someone to suicide.
What if
now,
when
I say a suicidal order, I mean convoying into an enemy fortified position. I mean sending an infantry squad 5 kilometers away from everyone else so they get overrun and crushed by the enemy force.
Driving your UAZ right up to an enemy FOB.
Walking through a fucking minefield.
I remember doing that.
Happen?
I remember doing that.
And
Elix.
No,
When you have people consciously ignoring these facts and giving you the order regardless, I want you guys understand the concept of non-compliance. If you guys know that what's being done to you is insane, that it doesn't match with reality, I want you guys to reject executing it. Because there is nothing worse. There is nothing worse a mission than an order that's been given in spite of all the information that goes against it. And as team leaders, I want you guys to understand that from this point on, you guys have to think for yourselves. You have to think, is what we're doing okay? Are we going to survive the order that we're going to have? And if we know how obviously big of a mistake it is, we need to tell the platoon that it's not right. We have to do something else. And even then, you ultimately have the degree of autonomy that every squad has. Ensure to your fullest extent that if you find something that doesn't match the situation that it normally would, that I want.
Fiction, can you stop?
Please stop. Yeah. I want you guys to understand that not everything has to be followed to the T. As long as you guys complete the objective, as long as you guys come up with a solution that completes the objective, minimal casualties with maximum damage to the enemy, with the best possible performance and the most intuitive solutions to the most contrived fucking problems in modern day warfare. I want you guys to understand that you're being good squad leaders. And the point of a good NCO is not to know the deepest theory, to understand the most complex ways to wage war. It's to be a good fucking person to his men. To get them alive at the end of the mission. Do you guys understand? Give me a big fucking yes, sir.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yes,
Sergeant.
Fucking NCOs after today.
I'm still a Crow
Alright, boys, now let's take a big picture into the horizon.
Don't forget about the ads.
I already said that when I contacted.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't hear
Well
that.
done, Crow guy.
Oh,
Good luck.
anyways, yeah, let's take the picture and let's go.
I'm still a child soldier.
Hey, I'm not.
Smoke is ruining the picture.
Oh my god.
I think it's supposed to be facing.
Oh, I'm stuck in the rock.
Facing the other way, maybe?
Yeah, it's face east. Let's face east.
Let's go up to like. Let's go up over there.
Can we disable
Let's
that?
go on the
Can
sit by
you
the
just
tourist bench.
turn on the
Tourist
wind
thing.
and blow the smoke away?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That would work.
Crack
That'll
the
actually work.
solution. Crack the...
Your guy can do that. He can just like
Can someone
make wind
turn
blow
on the
fast.
wind?
Modern problems require modern solutions.
In battles, opportunities and prey, can you please turn on the wind?
There is
Thank
a
you.
nice little shack here, a little shelter. Do I look like a Brazilian to you? Go to a shack?
Scroll guy's house. Sound like one.
Fine.
The shack is very different from a favela.
Pretty into the NCO picnic shelter.
I got to be a classroom.
You can make the
black
anti-arms drop quicker if you shoot them.
Ah!
It's like
Ah.
an information center.
Cool guy, no. Not the help portal again.
Alright, just look to the
Get us on top of it.
and oh yeah, you can use enhanced movement to climb on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, just face the sun.
I wish I knew
Just
how
face the sun.
enhanced movement works.
Face the sun.
The sun.
Where the fuck
Sun is
Use
west,
enhanced
dude.
movement.
That's off
Yeah,
west.
just climb out of the shit and
Climb down.
Stare into the sun. Stare into the sun. I can't use enhanced movement.
I can feel my eyes getting
something's
stronger. It's
very
one
wrong.
thing, Boros.
You gotta bind it yourself.
I bound it, but it doesn't work.
Boris, is this your eye strength in your routine looking right at the
Do
sun?
you bind only the jump or jump and climb?
Alright, you guys
you
on the
powerful
rock.
yet?
You can either
Well, my
or
sound
you
of
can
someone
turn to face the
parachuting.
sun. What you're gonna do?
Look at the sun.
Can I sit here?
Am I the only one that hears the sound of like falling?
I heard it for a moment, but it's gone now.
Doesn't
I'm
work.
pressing space as
Coda,
hard as
might
I
want to get
can.
low. You're blocking
It's not going.
everyone else.
It's broken, son.
What's it called?
Figure add-ons. Fuck, do you make it work? Okay, I'm just getting space. Can't climb here.
Just change it to like. Just change
I
jump.
can't use it
I
because
only
I'm
have it
glitched.
as a single button. It's not
No,
working.
because like I can't use it because I'm glitched. That's why I walk slow motion.
You might be too fat.
No, I'm glitched. I'm walking.
That's not actually.
You
We're
can still
definitely
climb.
fat.
Do you hold down the button or do you
can't.
press it?
If I am bugged,
Just
I'm
press it real quick.
enhanced
I think
movement
you
is
guys
broken.
are
I
actually
can't
too fat
climb.
to jump.
Yeah.
I dropped my backpack.
I don't
got
have
it
it
because
because
of
the
climb.
climb.
I have to get rid of my
You
backpack
can be
now.
too fat to jump in a mission.
Oh, enhanced, not advanced. Enhanced.
Enhanced.
Yeah.
I've already dropped my backpack. I'm extremely light. I can't jump.
You need to get a better angle. Climb onto the rock and then do it.
No, you
like,
can't
sort
even
of run
jump.
off the
That's
rock
the
while you're
thing.
hitting it.
No, I
Yeah.
did. Boys,
Also,
you boys
crew
on
guy,
the
you're
rock.
blocking the exact spot that you need to hit there.
Guys on the rock.
You need to look at the ledge when you're doing it.
Guys on the rock, just face the sun, please. You don't need to climb on the thing. You're already all in vision. So.
Look at the sun, damn it.
All right, everybody ready?
Praise the Yeti.
Very good, very good. Now let me
Are
just
you ready?
take a...
Praise the Yeti.
Praise the Yeti.
All right, everyone ready? Say, I'm a good NCO.
War crime.
I'm a
good NCO. Staff Sergeant. I'm a child soldier.
And all
right, very good.
That's my line, you fucker.
Well done,
Mission
guy.
complete.
Alright, Kirk, I mute.
You'll never get me a
I live.
No.
I live.
I'm the big hurt.